Do you hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I love? Patreon.com/inkdependence, where patrons get access to a patron-only Discord, ad-free videos, and the joy of knowing they help support this channel. Hello folks, welcome to Inkdependence. I'm Mike, and this is an ink from Kakimori. It's one of only a couple of Kakimori inks that I have, and this one is actually an exclusive to Yoseka. There's their little symbol imprinted in the top of the box, and it's called Hello. They have two of these that are exclusive to them, Hello and Try Me. I only have Hello. So we're going to talk about Hello today. Inside this box is this extremely cool bottle. I kind of love this bottle. Like, this ink is a little bit on the pricey side, but man, it is so nice. And this bottle is super fun. Also, you can tell this ink is just super opaque, and that is because this Kakimori ink is a pigmented ink. Look at that. So that is pretty dope. Let's find this on some paper. There we go. All right, so there you go. This is my usual Nebula casual note paper. This is a 90 grams per square meter paper. And on this paper, this looks kind of reddish brown, and that's how it's supposed to look. The Hello is a reference, they say, to the red brick at the frontage of the store that greets everybody as they walk up to Yoseka in New York City. So that's kind of fun. Now, I haven't been to Yoseka. It seems like it would be a really cool place, but New York is not really a place that I get to, and so I haven't seen that. But I do have this fun ink, which will sort of replicate that. All right, flow. I say it's normal, maybe a little bit on the thick side, and that's because this is a pretty dense ink, this here pigmented ink. It is opaque. It's a little bit on the thick side, I would say, but that said, I haven't really had any problems. I do every once in a while get a little bit, like, it could be a little bit wetter, I suppose. You can see like the top of that F is very fine. This pen that I've had it in for a while now is a Sailor Pro Gear. It's the full size one, and it's got their Sailor medium nib, which is, not super wet or anything like that, not really very wide. And I think if it works in here, it'll work in most other things. So as I think was a good test. And actually, I've refilled it in this pen so many times because something about writing with this pen, which is, by the way, the old-fashioned colorway, like the drink, I just really like it. I love this nib with the two-tone there. Or I think they call it tritone because it's gold and then rhodium and then gold again. I don't know, but I love that nib, and it's been really good in this pen. Even though sometimes, like with this F, you have to it's a little bit on the thin side, for that because it just hasn't started flowing quite right yet. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but this kind of feels that way. It's not dry exactly, just kind of thick, but hasn't clogged anything. Hasn't been a pain. It's just been a little, like that. So I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. Just something to be aware of. Maybe don't put it in like something extra fine. You probably wouldn't like that. But in this medium from Sailor, it's very good. So far, it's my only Kakimori ink. Not true anymore. I've got a couple more. Colors meant to mimic the brick out there, etc., etc. I wish it was a little bit wetter. Yeah, no, I still feel that way. As I said, it's a little bit expensive. 35 ml bottle for $30, but the bottle is super cool and the ink is very good. So worth it? Maybe so. I don't know. I kind of love this bottle. I wish I could just let it sit out, but I never do that with inks. So, all right, let's take a look at this with a little water test. We'll take a look at some chromatography. We'll look at it next to some other inks, although not very many because I don't have much in this colorway. And then look at it on some other papers and that sort of thing. I did write up there that I had some minor bleed on 20-pound paper, and I have found that to be the case with a few pigmented inks. Not all of them, but a few pigmented inks will be a little bit like ill-behaved on the cheaper papers. This one's not too bad, but I've had a few like that. Now, as you can see, that hasn't moved. So not only is this the color of bricks, man, it holds on. It's holding the ground like its name's concrete, as a great philosopher once said. And I mean, just nothing moved on this paper. So yeah, extremely water resistant. I might even just say waterproof. Like, well, there is a slight, if I'm extremely picky, there is a tiny bit of smudging, but that's it. That's all I got from, and that's actually, I rubbed it actually, and still I don't really see any on here at all. So yeah, just it moved it a little bit here, but wouldn't come up. So that's interesting. You don't get that too often with inks, but this one, waterproof, I'm going to say. And there's the chromatography. Not very exciting chromatography because it just doesn't really move. You can see the original line is slightly darker, and there's a little bit that moved up and down, but like not much at all. It hardly budged. That's pretty impressive. I've only seen one or two inks that are more impressive than that one as far as waterproofness. So There you go. Take that. Actually, there's the backside. Maybe it didn't move at all, and that's just sort of how this, went across. Really, really interesting. So, how about that? All right, let's look at it on some other papers. All right, so here we have it on our Staples 20-pound, 30% recycled copy paper from Sailor Pro Gear medium nib. You can see a little bit of like spread there in some areas. So here on the back of the K, and again with the F, I don't know, maybe I just start out with zero pressure on the F and I push it as it goes down a little bit. I'm not really sure what I'm doing there, but yeah, there in the front of the P a little bit of spread. Not too bad, but a little something. And it did bleed through a little bit in a few places here, but no worse than anything else on here and better than most of these things. So that's pretty good, really. All right, here it is on some Mormon Croquis paper. And y'all know I love this Mormon Croquis paper, but this ink was actually a little bit weird on it. As you can see up here, there's like some spread in some areas. You can kind of see right here, like the bottom of that G wanted to try to feather, but not quite. You can see just like a little bit of spread in that sort of thing, which is kind of weird. This paper is very good with most fountain pen inks, but it just kind of, I don't know. It didn't really love this one. Actually, it may have been a little feather there, although that could be a little like, hand oil or something. But then you look at the back and pretty much nothing else comes through this paper, but this one did. So here's just a couple other writing samples I happen to have handy, and none of these bled through, but weirdly, this one did. So I don't know. That's just sort of an odd interaction between this Mormon Croquis paper and this ink. And also it looks a little bit more brown on this paper than it does elsewhere. See, it's more red on the Nebula note. And it could be because this paper is a little bit whiter than this one, but I don't know. It just kind of interacted weird. So it's not going to be great for every paper, it turns out, even though I haven't seen this on too many papers. But yeah, there you go. Kind of strange, right? Next up, wheat straw paper. This is Inky Fingers, currently inked paper, currently inked notebook rather. And here is the sample right there. Now, you can't really get wheat straw paper anymore, unfortunately, but it's kind of like sugarcane paper or bamboo a little bit. Kind of similar performance. And I think it worked pretty well here, although I do see a couple of little feathers down here in the E now that I am zoomed in through my camera, but nothing weird, no like bleed through or anything like that on the other side. So it might just be like a little fingerprint or hand oil or something that can affect it, but it's, yeah, it works just fine on here. Then Tomoe River in a Galen Leather Co. book. There it is. Right there, and it looks really nice on this paper. It really likes Tomoe River paper in a way that it didn't like Croquis. And then on the back, yeah, nothing, no bleed through or anything. It's just a weird interaction with that one paper. That sort of thing happens. It's kind of rare, but it does definitely happen. Then here we go with some other colors. I've only got a couple to show you because it is just not close to very many things. This is from a Colodex card. You can find a link to these down there in the description. I get them from my friend Anna over at Well Appointed Desk. And there it is from that nib. So yeah, pretty good. Now it might look like it's a little like feathery or something. Somebody mentioned that in one of the other videos, and it's really just because there's a bit of texture on here, and I don't really have much in the way of hand pressure when I'm pushing down on when I'm writing with a fountain pen. So that's really just the texture of the Colodex card. You can actually see the texture just a little bit there on the camera. So the nib just kind of like doesn't touch every time. That's all that is. No big deal. All right. Then I pulled Diamine Oxblood because like, I don't know, it's got some things in common, but like not much here. And then I pulled this one, which is unobtainable, unfortunately, which is Toucan Sienna. Sienna is a little bit closer. I think this is kind of in between these. It's a little bit more red than Sienna, but a little bit more brown than Oxblood. Like it's kind of in the middle there somewhere. But I just didn't really have anything that looked much like this color, so it had that one weird interaction, and it's a little bit on the thick side, but it's kind of also unique and cool. And so if you're looking for one of these, I think this is really neat, and plus it's super waterproof, so that's cool. So yeah, that's Kakimori and Yoseka. Hello, thanks very much for watching this little video. I bought this at Yoseka, and you can too. Oh, I didn't say when I got it. Let's see, bought at Yoseka. I'm gonna say I probably bought it right around then, so I'll say February of 2023. I'll just say 2023. There you go. All right, there you go. And this pen actually does have ink in it. It's got a little bit of ink in it. Yeah, I refilled this one not too long ago because, like I said, I just keep using it. So there you go. That's it. We're really done this time. I promise. Thanks very much for watching. Think about what you put out in the world. Make it a better place. And peace out.